Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed, the television edition. I'm your host, Matt Connarton. Welcome, good to have you with me. We do have some guests coming. They're a little bit late. They're probably trying to find a place to park because it's difficult around here in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, if you don't know where to go. They've traveled, or they will have traveled a bit of a distance to get here. So we got Trevor and probably at least one other guy from the GCR Entertainment who will be joining us to discuss cannabis. So we actually have a specific topic this week. They are activists for the use and legalization and so forth of cannabis, or cannabi if you're like me and you enjoy those Latin plurals. So they should be here any minute. But welcome to the show. We will, of course, be encouraging interaction during the show if you're watching live. If you do happen to be watching live, you can call the number on your screen at any point if you have a question for myself or our guests or anything you want to discuss or points you want to make. This is a controversial topic for some that we'll be discussing today. So you can call the number on your screen. If there is no number on your screen, it's because you are not watching live. You're watching one of the replays, but that's cool too. And by the way, speaking of replays, you can find all the times for the show, and you may be there already if you're watching us online at ipmnation.com/MCUTV. And in case you don't already know, we now get the shows uploaded and available on demand the very same day that they air. So today's show will be up and available on demand at ipmnation.com tonight by midnight at the very latest. So you'll be able to watch the show anytime. We now get them up the same week that they air because, we do discuss a lot of politics, world events. We want to keep this show as current as possible. So now you don't have to wait for the replays. You can watch the show anytime. Anytime the same day that it airs. And we do archive all the shows going all the way back to the beginning of when we first started doing the show here at MPTS. Some people have asked me recently, what about the first season of the show when we used to do the show down at QC News? And I think those are sitting on my hard drive on my MacBook, but I'm not sure how many of those we were able to save, but we shall see. But most of the shows are archived at ipmnation.com. Also, too, we do have an active chat room at ipmnation.com/MCUTV, which you can access anytime during the live show, during the replays, whenever. You can also get at us on Facebook. If you haven't liked the page yet, please do so for Matt Connarton Unleashed. We also have Facebook pages for IPM Nation and the Dr. Kevin Radio Network and all that. And of course, you can get at me on Twitter at IPM Nation. And speaking of the Dr. Kevin Radio Network, you've heard me talk about the new website, dkrn.fm, because there are two versions of this show. I do the television edition here at MPTS, and of course the radio edition, which is Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at dkrn.fm. We do have a new website, dkrn.fm. It's all fancy. But something you may not know about, and I really want to push this, and we've been talking about this a lot as I take on further responsibility at DKRN, is you can access dkrn.fm on your mobile device, your tablet, your smartphone very, very easily, and you don't have to download an app to do it. If you go to dkrn.fm/mobile, that's all you got to do. Just go to that, dkrn.fm/mobile, and a play button pops up on your mobile device, and you just click that play button, and there you go. You are streaming the Dr. Kevin Radio Network from your mobile device, your tablet, your smartphone, whatever, wherever it is. I know a lot of people like to listen in the car. You plug in your mobile device in the car and stream. Nowadays a lot of people stream internet radio in their cars just like they would an FM or an AM station. Very, very easy to do. You don't actually have to download an app to do it. It is, as has been explained to me recently, I got to learn about some of the technology that is being used for DKRN, and it is the most advanced internet station currently online. Because, like I said, you don't have to download anything to stream it on your mobile device. There's no app. You simply go to dkrn.fm/mobile, and there it is. It literally could not be any easier. You don't have to worry about taking up memory on your phone, or, you can certainly put the little icon on your screen so you can get to it even easier, but nothing to download. So it's better than an app. So that's exciting. So like I said, we have some guests coming in. Those who are regular viewers of the show, of course, know that I am never at a loss for words because we do focus on politics and world events on the show. So I can certainly rant and rave about whatever's on my mind until our guests from the GCR crew, until they arrive. But what's kind of funny is I, believe it or not, as much of a political junkie as I am, and as much as I like to keep track of what's going on in the world, I do have those moments where I get a little bit burned out on it all. And I kind of will put myself into a sort of a self-imposed news blackout. And I have to be honest with you, over the last few days, I really haven't paid that much attention. Granted, Congress decided to go home, go on their little recess without actually solving much or doing much. But I heard something disturbing today, and it kind of piggybacks on something that I was talking about last week. I as an independent, as someone who refuses to affiliate with either of the two parties, I really feel that the two-party system does a lot to damage our country. And part of the problem is, even though we're now at a point where I saw a statistic recently, 42% of the electorate in this country now self-identifies as independents, which would seem like good news, but at a 90% incumbency rate, what good does that really do us? And, I heard somebody I had on MSNBC earlier. I decided to end my news blackout earlier today. I basically didn't pay any attention to anything over the weekend. Plus, I've just been extremely, extremely busy. Someone was talking on there, a political analyst, about how, as the two parties have become more and more polarized, you have a lot of people, you have so many people who now either they self-identify as independents or they still affiliate with one of the parties, but the parties have become so polarized and extreme that the people who consider themselves moderates simply don't participate. They're staying home on election day. And, if we're ever going to make any progress in tearing down the two-party system, which I think is absolutely necessary, I talked about last week how independents, please, you cannot stay home on election day. You cannot get discouraged. Don't give in. You're an independent for a reason, because you don't believe in either of these two groupthink organizations that have a stranglehold on our country. So you've got to mobilize. You've got to go and vote on election day. And please, you've got to vote for independence. We have to send these people a message. If that 42% of Americans, imagine if that 42% of Americans who self-identify as independents actually voted independent consistently. Imagine the change that we could affect in this country, real change, because we're never going to get change, hope and change from the two parties. But I heard an analyst on MSNBC today commenting on how it's not just independents who, get, I call it the 3Ds, they get discouraged, disgusted, and disenfranchised. It's not just them, but it's the moderates in the two parties who end up staying home on election day. And that is a problem. And, I've always said, I believe that apathy is the greatest threat to our liberty in this country. People who have decided, that their vote doesn't count, they get so discouraged, they feel like they have no voice. There's nothing they can do that will affect change, so they stay home on election day. And, we need to flip that, and we need to do it quickly. Like I said, we have a 90% incumbency rate in this country, regardless of how disgusted people are with Congress. Congress's approval ratings, you see these memes that pop up online, Congress, less popular than cancer, less popular than roaches. And yet, year after year, one election cycle after another, on election day, on that first Tuesday in November, we have a 90% incumbency rate in this country. And they know that, and they're counting on it. And everybody plays to the base, and you really see that with the Republican Party. Everyone is so terrified of the Tea Party wing and their tendency to be very sort of right-wing extremist. So you've got this whole, I talked about it last week. It's like this banana republic type stuff. It's just spiraled out of control with John Boehner talking about suing the president. And, you've got Republicans talking about impeachment. And you've got Democrats talking about impeachment as well. You've actually got both sides talking about it. You've got Republicans talking about it because that helps raise money. If you seem like you're so against Obama, the base of the party loves that, being against Obama, so you can kind of motivate and energize the base, and that helps raise money. And then you've got Democrats going, well, look at what they're trying to do to us. Look at what they're trying to do to our president. They're actually trying to impeach President Obama. And then the Democrats raise money. See, everybody wins in this scenario. You take this ridiculous concept as if Barack Obama, and I know a lot of my Republican friends will disagree with me on this. And again, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, and I didn't vote for Obama in 2012. I went third party. But I don't believe for one solitary second that this president has done anything that even remotely is in the stratosphere of an impeachable offense, right? So to me, this whole thing seems ridiculous. It's bizarre. It's craziness. But it serves a purpose for both parties. Both parties are able to raise money off of this ridiculous notion of impeaching Barack Obama. See, everybody wins, except us, the people whom are supposed to be allegedly represented by these freaks that we send to Washington. What do we get from this? I mean, the system protects its own. And if you're a longtime viewer or listener of the show, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. We like to believe that on Election Day, we send these people to Washington to represent us and our values and our issues and our concerns. But in reality, who they really represent are whatever set of donors and corporations and, lobbyists, and the people who own them. Where does the money come from? Follow the money, and you figure out who these people really work for. They don't work for us. So we need to break the two-party system. So I will continue to bang this drum week after week. Independents, please, you've got to get active. You've got to vote. And I would say the same thing to moderates. If you're a Republican or a Democrat and you're fed up with your own party and you're fed up with all the partisan gamesmanship and the gridlock in Washington, because these people, they treat it like a team sport, literally. It's all us versus them. It's all red versus blue. Can't let the other team score any points. That's why there can be no compromise on anything. That's why there can be no reaching across the aisle, working together on anything, or almost anything, with rare exception, because they treat it like a team sport. They're not interested in what matters to us. They're interested in their own careers. They're interested in lining their own pockets. Our political system, it's based on legalized bribery. And, speaking of that, because people have been asking me, back when this most recent Supreme Court decision happened, not Citizens United, but the one that everyone connects to it more recently, and now I'm drawing a blank on the name, and I'm distracted because I think my guests are here. My guests are here. That's who I was just waving to. They're going to come on in, so we'll table that for now. Better late than never. The GCR crew is in the house. They will. We just got to figure out how to get them into their seats. How are you, gentlemen?
Excellent. Great. Doing fabulous.
All right, come on in. So we have Trevor and Ashton here.
Nice.
All right.
How are you guys?
Oh, we
Great.
made
How
it.
you doing?
You made it. You made it. Yes. Welcome. And all right, go ahead and introduce yourselves to the audience.
I'm Trevor Scott from GCR Entertainment.
And I'm Ashton Scott from GCR Entertainment as well.
You guys are related?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. So I met you guys at Local Outbreak. You guys came on. Slicko was our mutual friend Slicko, who could not be here today because he has other commitments and obligations. And man, I was thinking about it too on the way here. I don't know what it is with that guy. It's like he starts a family and all of a sudden he's like being an adult and responsible. It's like, what happened to? It's like, who are you and what have you done with Slicko?
Yeah, it came out of the blue.
I know, right?
Definitely.
I guess that's what fatherhood does to people.
Well, Las Vegas is supposed to do, a little bit different to kind of send them on the right track.
Yeah, apparently. I've known Slicko a long time, and no, but it's good. No, I'm proud of him to be honest. I mean, I'm sort of kidding, but no. So he couldn't be here today, but you guys came with him to the Local Outbreak interview and actually participated. And if people want to check it out, actually, IPMNation.com/Local Outbreak, and it is listed as Slicko and GCR Entertainment. So you can stream that, you can download it. But you guys are, well, first, before we get into the main issue that I know we want to discuss, what is GCR Entertainment exactly?
We're an entertainment company that's focused on cannabis activism. And what we try to do is we try to put together big events or shows that can bring people together that have the same kind of like-minded path to help spread the truth about cannabis and what it does for our community. So our primary objective is to gather people to let them know the truth about cannabis. But what we do is we function as an entertainment company, organizing events and shows, bringing people a place that they can all come together and be on the same page.
What came first? Did you get into the entertainment industry first and then decided you wanted to kind of do something that focuses on cannabis, or have you always kind of been an activist in the cannabis area?
We've always been an activist in the cannabis area. Cannabis has played a big role in my life and a lot of the people's lives that I know. So we're really strong and determined in the views that we feel towards cannabis, and we definitely walked the path of cannabis activism first. And in the process of trying to bring together more people to spread our word and the word and the truth of cannabis, which has been so effectively slandered against, we decided that, hey, we'll put together and organize events, some shows. And what we do at our shows, we use all pro-cannabis people, from our performers to our staff. Everybody we use is definitely on the same page. They have an agenda of helping legalize or get legalization of cannabis in our country. There's just so many things that we can use for it, well outside of smoking it or using it recreationally.
Well, and that's an important distinction to make about what you guys are doing and what you're advocating for, because it's not it's not simply that you're advocating for, say, the legalization of marijuana. It's a larger issue.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely.
It's a larger issue in
Much larger.
terms of cannabis.
Yep, from the ozone all the way to the depletion of our natural resources. Cannabis is the only annual resource on the planet that can sustain all of our needs, from power all the way to building, all the way from food to curing diseases all over the country, from children's epilepsy all the way to the toughest cancer. So I believe it's real important. We believe it's real important at GCR to spread the truth and help people be aware that cannabis does not hurt people.
Right. What's the biggest misconception that you run into when you have these discussions with people? What's the biggest thing that you consistently find that people's perceptions about cannabis?
I would say that the most commonly misconceived idea about somebody who uses cannabis is lack of motivation. Stopping the mind from thinking. It actually accelerates what you think about and the in-depthness that you go into it. So I think the biggest misconception is how it affects your brain and slows you down. They say it makes you forgetful, only the unimportant things, because if anything's important, it really makes you focus on it. I think the paranoia. People get real paranoid from using cannabis when they're not used to it, and I believe it's because they feel like they're doing something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Because your brain accelerates, and then all of a sudden you're starting to think about all these responsibilities you have. Now, if you do a narcotic, it does completely opposite. If you drink alcohol, it does completely opposite. All of a sudden, you go from caring about everything to not caring about a thing. Not even yourself.
Yep.
So,
Right.
So cannabis definitely unlocks a certain amount of insight into your own self when smoking it as well.
Yeah.
Or eating it. It doesn't matter how you consume it. It does have the same type of effect on you.
Well, don't you think, though, it's fair to say that it probably does affect different people in different ways? I mean, just because
absolutely.
Certainly, while it may help some people, I mean, some people might find that. To be honest with you, as far as smoking it, I've been stoned a grand total of maybe 5 or 6 times in my life. It does. For me, for whatever reason, it just doesn't do much for me, which is why I've never really gotten into it consistently.
Does that make you
it makes me quite amorous. Yeah,
which cannabis is a natural aphrodisiac.
That's why the only time I'll smoke, like if I'm like when I've been playing in a band or something, if the guys want to smoke, I'm like, no, I'm good. But if I'm on a date with a girl and I know where it's heading, that's a little different. But
there you go.
But that's like literally the only thing it does to me. It's strange.
Yep.
My thing is, and I'm kind of a libertarian on this issue. I think it's bizarre, although I know the reasons, the political reasons for it, and I'm sure you guys do too, but one of the arguments I always make in favor of legalization is, our government says if you want to drink yourself into a coma, you can. That's fine, as long as you don't get behind the wheel of a car or something. If you want to give yourself cancer or emphysema or whatever else with cigarettes, that's fine. Do that all you want to. Oh, but, let's say at the end of a long day, you want a couple of bong hits to kind of take the edge off. Well, now you're a dangerous criminal, and we have to put you in a federal prison.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is. And their whole stance on why you're not allowed to use cannabis is it hurts you.
It never helps, what they say.
Now, if they're so firm on that stance of cannabis hurts you and we can't use it because it hurts us so much, why are they selling the cigarettes in a multi-billion-dollar industry? Everywhere you turn, people are smoking cigarettes. So,
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense, especially when you hear all the stories about children's epilepsy being cured and stopped from one
that's
session,
interesting.
From Rick Simpson oil.
It does make sense, though, if you follow. I always say, whenever anything doesn't make sense politically, in terms of public policy, in terms of what a corporation or a business is doing, or anything like that, if something doesn't make sense, follow the money, and you'll find the answer. With the cigarettes, our government, we subsidize big tobacco. So our government is in business with big tobacco. So there you go. And if you look at, and I'm sure you've looked at this in states where they have private prisons, they tend to fight to keep more vigorously to keep marijuana illegal, keep cannabis illegal or other drugs, because the private prisons, they depend on repeat business. It's
Absolutely.
a business, so they have private prisons have a much higher recidivism rate because the drug laws are tougher, and our prisons are full of low-level drug offenders, and everyone's always screaming about how overcrowded our prisons are. Well, go figure. We lock people up for smoking pot in this country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really a backward cycle when these people could be out on the streets and in their communities being productive citizens, helping the community grow and putting back. Instead, they're wasting our taxpayers' money. They're letting the big guy get bigger by collecting more money, and it really is a scheme for the money.
Yeah,
just like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what? Tell us a little bit more about some of the things that you were talking about that cannabis is good for that people don't realize, because you mentioned quite a few things there. I mean, can you go into a little bit more detail, particularly medically, because there has been some progress in this country where states are legalizing medical marijuana. I don't know. I get very angry actually when I hear arguments against legalizing medical marijuana, because my whole thing is, people will come up with reasons like, oh, we need to study it more, and it's like, no. If people are suffering, if people are suffering, let them have whatever they need.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. It's basic
eases the pain.
human compassion and empathy. You know, unless you're suffering from a debilitating, painful terminal illness, you know, you got no right to tell somebody they can't have something. What harm is it going to do to let them have it? You know, I mean, it just infuriates me. The whole how anyone can be anti at least legalizing it for medical reasons.
And you brought up a great point that we need to study it more. Now that's kind of a funny fact because cannabis is the most studied subject that we have. With over 20,000 publications written and done studies just upon cannabis, which not many of us even see one of them because they're so quickly swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Because all these efforts are to prove that cannabis is harmful.
We have a caller. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line? Hello?
Hello there, Matt. How are you?
Norm, I thought you might be calling in today.
Well, of course. You know me. I'm an old diehard legalizing marijuana fighter for this. I think it's, and I compliment the two gentlemen who have the courage to come on and speak in favor of marijuana. I have seen what it can do medically to other people. I can see how I've had friends who have had cancer. And I see what it does for their bodies and how they relax and are able to sleep. And I've seen the appetite of people who refuse to eat. You give a little hit of excellent marijuana, because I have to sample it first and make sure it's okay. You know? But I have seen what it has done, and I want to compliment you two gentlemen for being brave enough to come out and legalize it. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call, Norm.
We just want to tip one thing about what Norm was saying. He referred to it with the M word, which I went over with Matt a little bit. But cannabis is originally called cannabis. And our government came up with an article in 1937 slandering it, labeling it a Mexican term and saying a bunch of harmful things that was happening from it. You know, they tricked our farmers into believing that the hemp plant wasn't marijuana. So they got our whole country believing that we were voting to get rid of this deadly drug called marijuana.
Right.
When they were really voting on the hemp plant and the cannabis plant that they were growing in their fields and supporting their families on.
Yeah.
So we really try to steer away from using the M word because it's something that makes cannabis sound demeaned and put down.
Yeah.
And we really want to get our communities to remember that it's cannabis, not that dreaded M word that they want to label every chance that they can get on this beautiful curing herb.
Yeah, the history of it is interesting. And by the way, did you guys see the editorial in the New York Times recently about basically they said end prohibition now, you know, the drug war is a failure, and, you know, I mean the usual arguments, but it was
we didn't.
But to see a publication as high profile as the New York Times, as mainstream as the Times coming out and saying this is it is a big step, and it's encouraging. You guys, you live in Maine, right? You both live in Maine.
Yes, we do.
Are the laws there any different than in New Hampshire?
They're
extremely different.
A lot different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more leniency as far as the penalties on cannabis.
Yeah.
There's a lot more leniency towards the medical field. They don't really have dispensaries up there, so they leave it to the patients to take care of themselves. So it's a real open, very liberal laws in comparison to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
The freedom is definitely in states surrounding New Hampshire. Massachusetts is real strong. You know, Connecticut's even showing some steam. So,
yeah.
You know, New Hampshire, it's about time New Hampshire starts to jump on board. And I
Right.
know we've already taken the steps to legalize it medicinally here. It's just held up in, you know, the motions to put that into action, you know, and hopefully we can get that moving a little quicker than it is now. But,
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely helping us utilize this herb in Maine and states like Massachusetts and states like Connecticut. So
yeah. So the events that you guys do, we should give a plug because I know you got a big one coming up in Harmony,
we sure
Maine.
do.
Absolutely.
September 4th through the 7th.
In Harmony, Maine.
Oh, you know what time it is. It's called the New England Canna Carnival 2. It's the second time we've put this event on. We have a bunch of big name acts coming out. Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
Busy Bones from Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Dead Season from Maine, a local big band. Tons of people. Dirtball and Bobby B from Cottonmouth Kings. Turquoise.
Sophista Funk.
Spiritual Res, Boston reggae band. We have a lot of strong lineup coming out. On top of a full carnival.
We got 16 rides.
Wow, no
We got
kidding.
Sword Swallowers.
Wow.
We got Fire Swallowers. We have Stilt Walkers, as well as
Really?
clowns.
Yeah.
They'll be roaming the grounds all day.
Yeah.
We have acrobatic acts, as well as an extraordinary aerial acrobatic acts after Be Real.
Wow.
It's going to be quite the act.
Is this the biggest event you guys have done?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's huge. Yeah.
We've worked real hard. You know, we're only a new company. We've only been doing this for a couple years.
Okay.
So we've worked real hard to kind of gain steam and get as many people as we can together. Get more support, because the more people that are sponsoring us and helping us in this endeavor, the more we can bring to the state of Maine. So
Right.
this year we've had a lot of collaboration, a lot of help, and we've managed to bring some real big acts. Cottonmouth Kings,
Yeah.
you know, people from Cypress Hill, Bone Thugs, you know,
Oh,
it's
that's
just
huge.
it's
Yeah.
huge. We're really excited. And you know, at these festivals up in Maine, there's a lot more accessibility to the stars and the people. They walk around. They want to really be in the party just as much as you
Right.
want to be at the party. So
Right.
it's something that's unique to their field. They don't get to come and be in an open camping ground a lot. A lot of it's a 4-hour show. They're in and out.
Right,
you know,
right.
Very
so-
restricted.
So
Yeah.
what we got is something special going on out there.
Yeah.
Lots of cannabis activism.
Yeah.
Lots of people telling and teaching about the uses.
Oh, very
how,
cool.
Which is
how
very,
to
very
turn your
useful.
hemp stocks into building materials.
Oh, wow. We have
on and on.
We'll grab this call. I figured we'd get some calls today.
Nice.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show. You're on. What you got?
Hey, what's up? This is Dale. I'm actually with GCR.
Oh.
Hey,
Someone you know?
Hey, you know what time it is.
you know what time it is.
You already know, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a
Yeah,
clock here.
I am sorry that I couldn't make it. I was supposed to be there with Trev. Ashton, you're doing a great job, brother.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we were just tuning in, Maine, and I just wanted to call in and say what's up to you guys. And I was just catching the Canna Carnival part. We hope everybody has a chance to come up to Harmony, Maine, and check out the Canna Carnival. It's such a forward-thinking, beautiful movement that we have that is really going to enlighten a lot of people and show how powerful cannabis is and how we can have great events that don't necessarily even have to be based around cannabis going forward. But we do it like that now so that people can see that we can have regular people, family, friends, all together in a safe environment. So we hope everybody can come. Trevor and Ashton, you guys are doing a great job. We just want to shut you out, GCR. You know what time it is.
You know what time
You
it is.
already know.
Thanks, T.
All right, thanks for the call.
I'd like to take that moment, too, to give a shout-out to Northern Lights Nation. They're an upcoming, one of the top bands or hip-hop crews in all of New England right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them pushing real hard through the Canna Carnival and a lot of events they've been doing this year. We have them opening up for Be Real.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're actually doing a live song with Busy Bone.
Oh, no kidding.
We've got a
Wow.
feature from Busy Bone. It's a great song. I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some real special things coming up, and
Yeah.
Northern Lights Nation is a big part of them.
So, do you guys do you do other events? I mean, I know this is the biggest one you've done, but have you?
We have.
Yes,
How,
we
how
do.
many? How many have you done so far?
This is our fifth
Okay.
event, and we've done a couple club shows,
Yeah.
a couple smaller little festival type get-togethers, couple weekend camping things.
Yeah.
We've done a couple little fundraisers. Matter of fact, we've teamed up. Northern Lights Nation is doing something, a nonprofit organization called Get Filthy. We're refinishing a community park to kind of help the community
Which
grow
is next
and become
weekend.
better. So, and then we're
Yeah.
doing that next weekend. So,
Yeah.
In Waterville,
we
Maine.
do a lot.
Okay.
We stay active. It's not just shows that we do. We try to stay, involved with our community as well.
Yeah.
Give back as much as we can.
Yeah.
Because it's really about getting a team together, with your community and starting to elevate and platform yourselves to be better.
Right.
I think it's real important having pride in your community. And up in Maine, I think that we let our communities get a little bit run down. And I think we need to build teams together to help go out there and put that elbow grease into what needs to be done.
Bring a little more unity to the community.
Yeah, very cool. You're keeping it all very positive, and that's great. That's great. And I wonder if that surprises some people too. Because people have, people have some people have certain preconceived notions.
Yes.
About
cannabis,
about hip hop, and
absolutely,
and all that stuff. So I'm sure you run into that.
Yeah, I'll tell you the biggest infusion of what we've done at the Canna Carnival this year is bring a lot of high-level hip-hop.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not really meshed into the festivals here in the New England area.
Yeah,
now,
that's
they do
true.
practice it back in the West actively, and, they do it great, and it goes without a hitch. And,
the shows
are good.
Now that you bring it up, I can't think of who else in the Northeast has done a big hip hop, like a multi-day hip hop festival.
There hasn't really been. There's been a few. I mean, Vans
Rob
Warped
Robinson
Tour comes through. I mean, there's
there's always like rock festivals and
But-
whatnot, but a hip hop based festival.
there's no really strong hip hop based festival.
Yeah, so good for you guys. You're trailblazers in that sense.
It's not just hip-hop. We've
That's
tried
true.
to
I know
mesh
you've got
it.
you've got Dead Season.
We
who's
got
great.
Turquoise. We have Marlon, the ganja farmer, Asher, who's an international reggae sensation.
Yeah.
He's all over everywhere right now.
Yeah.
A bunch of local festival bands. We really try to platform local bands. So we have bands Canopy,
The Human
Canvas, Linguistic Civilians,
Yes.
and these are all not just from Maine, but from Vermont,
Yeah.
from Massachusetts, from New Hampshire. We really do a good job at platforming the New England local talent and not just the Maine local talent.
Right.
So it's well beyond just hip-hop. We just believe that hip-hop should become a part of the festivals because, people are being left out.
Yeah.
And cannabis is such a powerful way to bring people together and bring them where they normally wouldn't speak to each other or say hi in the grocery store. They'll sit down and partake in a conversation when they're enveloping in some cannabis or even just talking about something that they each believe in
neutral
helps
ground.
them become more close.
Yeah.
So.
How did you guys meet Slicko? How'd you get involved with him? Because he's performing, right?
Slicko is performing.
Yeah.
Slicko actually performed for us at one of our very first shows.
Okay.
So he was a big part of it. In the beginning, when you're doing something like this, there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot you don't account for. And Slicko was an ace. He came in and really filled a bunch of stage time, made sure that the stage wasn't silent. So we developed a nice relationship there. He had me on a couple of his radio shows that I believe that you had something to do with.
Slicko's World on IPMNation.com.
Yeah, so we enjoyed
great show.
building that relationship, and here we are now, ready to put him on the stage again. And, he's hooking us up with you, and Slicko's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Who is also misunderstood. Hip hop. People automatically conceive you as a bad guy. Most of the guys have really big hearts. And,
absolutely.
It's all about your image. You can't get up there and rap if you're dressed in polos. It just doesn't happen. So, they had a lot of it's imaging too, and we create that as a society as well. So
no, Slicko's awesome. I've known him for quite a few years now. Actually, he and I have done a lot of radio shows together, but. And I've performed with him a couple times. I'm a bass player, and I've actually,
really?
when he really was focusing more with on Team Happiness with his Hype Man EFC, I got up on stage with them a couple times and just freestyled some bass lines.
Nice
with those guys. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a few years ago now, but it seems like I've known him a long time.
Yeah, people wouldn't really guess how well that the actually instrument music meshes with the rap.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing better than the live band playing
and
rapping.
Absolutely,
they just do it digitally because it's hard to put a whole band together to be a rapper. So there's a few of them out there though.
Oh yeah,
and those ones that are out there are really doing good right now. So.
Yep.
Very true.
Do you guys plan to take this around the country, the festival, or I mean, that's
I
don't know if you're
it's
thinking.
Funny you say that, but it's always one step at a time.
Yeah.
We did build the New England Canna Carnival to be toured, So our goals in mind is to tour out throughout the New England area. as it grows and prospers, and hopefully we build and gain momentum, and we'll be able to take it outside of New England. And that's a 5-10 year goal, but we would love to take it to states like Colorado and Washington, where the freedoms are more and where the people are more in the mindset of let's utilize this beautiful herb.
Right. We have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line?
Hi, this is Kaden from GCI. I just want to say what's up to my dad. You know what time it is.
Which one's your dad?
Hey, son.
Well, love you, Dad. See you when you get home.
Love you, bud. Thanks for the shout-out.
Keep watching. that was your son?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
That was my boy.
Oh, nice.
Caden. He's a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We definitely stay active in promoting and building education all the way through our youth.
Yeah.
I think it's real important that our children get taught with the right morals and the right goals in life.
Strong foundation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the house crumbles.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Very, very good. So, what's the? We talked about misconceptions. What about in terms of being concert promoters? And I mean, what is the biggest misconception you think people have about that?
I think that they probably believe that it's all party.
Yeah.
And that it's really easy to do. And that
there's nothing
there's
but
not much
cannabis
work
going
to
on.
It. So
yeah,
the fact of it is completely opposite. Our work is nonstop.
Yeah.
From putting together flyers like this beautiful flyer, the New England Canna Carnival, all the way to setting up meetings like this and coming and helping getting the word spread. It takes a tremendous amount of work and traveling.
Oh yeah.
And dedication.
Yeah.
We have to talk to a lot of people a day. We have to make sure that we gather the support and sell the tickets and gather the sponsorships to make all this happen. So, it's definitely a 15, 20-hour a day job. So,
oh, no doubt. Yeah. Because, I'm thinking about it. It's like, I've done a lot of, concert promotion and stuff, but I've never done anything on the scale of what you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm, like, overwhelmed just thinking about how much work it must be for you guys and the commitment level and you're right. People on the outside think it is all party and they have no idea.
No idea. Of course, we couldn't do it without all of our team. Yeah. From all of our volunteers, I'd like to give you guys a special thanks all the way to the heart of the crew. You guys are awesome. We couldn't do any of this without you guys. So, it does take a real strong team to do because we have all these bands. We have over 90 bands playing throughout the weekend. Yeah. So just to cater and to feed and to make sure that they all hit their stage time at the proper time is a tremendous level of organization. And that doesn't even begin to start to dip into all the rest that it takes to make it go around. Mm-hmm. And this year we brought in a full carnival. So we stepped it up there. Luckily for us, we're not running the carnival. It's a professional carnival company, East Coast Midways. So they'll be coming. They'll be doing all that. So that takes a little bit of pressure off of that end. But, it's just an unbelievable amount of work and organization and drive. Yeah. Because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Get people to come to events and make the events worth their time.
Right. And that's why we try and hit multi-demographics with the rock and the reggae and the hip-hop, as well as we have 40 top DJs from all over New England. We have a stage open 24/7,
which is
all
be
on our backfield,
EDM.
Which is all EDM as well.
Nice.
So we're trying to hit every demographic we possibly can.
Yeah.
It's real important to have those added things. We have a 400-yard road in between separating the two fields.
Oh, wow.
And we have a $3,500 light show that's going in there that we're putting in. That's all LEDs and lit up. So, the whole ambiance of the field and the place itself just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Yeah. So it's really put together to have a lot of fun and be out of this world.
What's Harmony, Maine like? Is it rural or is it a town? Or
it's definitely rural.
Yeah.
There's two towns right there. The field is set in between the two towns.
Oh, okay.
One is 7 miles, the other one's 5 miles. The biggest thing they have is a couple gas stations. So the towns are real rural. You
the
want
neighbors are used to the music and the loud noise.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah.
we don't have any complaints with any of the surrounding houses or people.
They've
Yeah.
been doing it for years out there. I think we're on the 8th year functioning out there.
Oh,
And the
okay.
guy who
Good.
built the property, Don Christian, he's really, really been pivotal in making these festivals and the legalization in Maine possible.
Yeah.
He's kind of pioneered it, and he's built the place. He built Harry Brown's farm and the hill, and did a lot of work making Maine vocals and building a lot of steam for Maine. And
Yeah.
he's been really great to us and given us the opportunity to work on his land and put
Right.
on our own shows as well.
Right.
So,
Well, plus, an event on this scale too. I mean, I'm sure it actually something really positive is it must do a lot to help the local economy.
Oh, yeah.
Last
You know.
year we had with our staff and our bands, we had approximately 2,000 people, and they were just ecstatic
Yeah.
around the community. All the stores' shelves were just completely bare.
Oh, yeah.
you couldn't
Yeah.
go in there to get anything. So
Not even a bottle of water.
Wow.
yeah, they're real excited for this year,
Yeah.
seeing how much we put into it, and the amount of promotion that we pushed out there. So
Yeah.
we're expecting to have a nice influx in our community revenue right there.
That's great.
Which is real important in the state of Maine
Yep,
because
it's real vital.
the limited funds that we get up there. They're not a bunch of people come and buy out the gas stations.
Right.
So it's definitely far and few between with people like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's good. I'm curious too. Obviously, you guys are doing a lot of media to promote this, and do you ever run into situations where you try to get? Have you ever tried to get on a show or something, and you run into a situation where someone's like, "Oh, wait, no, this cannabis. I don't know. That might be too controversial for us." Or have you run into that at all?
Absolutely.
Really? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because some people, obviously, there's people who agree with your cause. And there might also be people who don't necessarily agree, but want controversy can be helpful. But you have a lot of people say no.
We don't have a lot of people.
But there are some.
You can definitely feel the tide changing in America. You feel people catching on and saying, "Hey, wait a minute. It's not quite what they've told us it was."
Right.
So the acceptance is much more on a scale of 80 to 20
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of how it was in the past where it would have been 20 to 80, where
Right.
everywhere we would go, we'd be turned away. And Matt would be the one guy that was kind enough to let us come in. But
Right.
luckily nowadays, it's not that case.
Yeah, that's good.
We do get the majority that are all about it and all about the fairness in life,
Yeah.
and more the right and wrong about the matter than if they would utilize it themselves.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
we are
Yeah.
openly accepted in most places, and
Yeah.
we've had very little resistance from the radio stations
Good.
as well.
Good.
A
Yeah.
few things on our old website where we had a little bit too much cannabis.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like just little stuff, cannabis leaves and stuff like that. We had a couple little. I don't know what we can do.
Really?
You
Yeah.
show cannabis on here, but we have a nice new website, gcrentertainment.com. Check it out.
Yeah, it is a nice
It's
site,
real
yeah.
sleek, really to the point, really informative. We worked really, really hard to make it that way. So,
Yeah. That can be a lot of work in itself. Just
Oh.
keeping up with the website, keeping it up to date. And,
absolutely.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
work is really endless
Yeah,
in this business. It doesn't stop. We really do work 15, 20 hours a day,
Yeah.
and there's a whole team of us.
Yeah.
It's definitely just not me and this guy here. We are just the face of GCR.
Right. Right. How many like when you talk about the team, like how many people are you talking about?
We have
I mean, I'm sure some people come and go, so it fluctuates. But
It depends on what you want to classify as the exact team. We
Yeah.
have a lot of teams that work with us, as well as our whole team. We have a smaller crew, which is basically the GCR crew,
Yeah.
which is comprised of
Which
a lot
is the
of
heart.
family,
Yeah.
even friends that we consider family. So, we have part of Northern Lights Nation helps us occasionally. We have almost our whole family that works with us, which is more than 5, less than 10.
yeah.
And we just work with other crews as well that help do our promotional and help us with like our separate staging and different things like that.
Yeah.
Just to make it all possible for us.
Yeah. Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, like I said, we definitely don't do it alone. There's a heart of us, like you said, between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
And we'll let you guys know who you are. We won't go naming them. But
Right,
they
right.
all know who they are, and they're pivotal in making this happen.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't stop there. Yeah. Every single person is just important, all the way down to our last volunteer.
Yeah.
Because just picking up the trash is a heavy duty.
Oh,
or a
yeah.
heavy load. So
Yes.
you can imagine how much. It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
So the coordination, it never stops. The hustle never stops. These shows we really work hard to put these shows on for you guys. We really work hard to make them affordable. We really work hard to do all the things to go out of our way to make them different and special. Our VIP tent, for matter, it has arcade games, pool table, foosball table, all free play.
Items.
We take care of all that for our VIPs. So
Yeah.
our VIPs is 4-star catered.
Absolutely.
Real high level catering. It's absolutely red carpet treatment for our VIPs and our performers.
Oh, very cool.
And we try not to treat any of them different.
Right.
Guys like Be Real make that hard with riders that don't stop.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well just go buy the whole bar for them. But other guys, we just take care of through the weekend, make sure that they stay nice and hydrated and they get whatever kind of drinks and food that they want. So we really cater to our stars as high as we can.
Obviously, I wouldn't ask you to name names, but what's the most obnoxious thing you've seen on a rider?
Oh, man.
And for
Red
those
M&Ms made it on a rider yet?
For those who don't know, the rider is the contract that with the demands that the artist wants or needs for the show in order to
they're
perform.
necessities to
Yes.
keep him flowing how they want to be.
Yeah.
But I think there's been some big ones. 2 half gallons of Grey Goose. That's pretty obnoxious.
That is a heavy order.
For you got to take into account they're only going to be there one day.
Right.
They would never possibly drink 2 half gallons of Grey Goose.
Right. Yeah.
Especially when that's only an 1/8 of the alcohol order.
Yeah.
So we have seen some ridiculous things. Of
Yeah.
course, we appease them and give it to them
Yeah, what
because
can you do? Yeah.
to a reasonable state, we won't give them anything. But
Right.
we understand what they work for in this world and how hard it is to get to that level, and we like to make sure that they have those fringe benefits that make them feel, worth what they do. And,
Yeah, of course.
it is a hard work, and we think that these artists just come out and get on the stage and perform, but it's just as in depth as this end.
Oh, yeah.
There's countless hours that they put into the studio time and into writing their music and spreading and promoting their own bands. Just to
Right.
get an agent or to sign on to a record label is tremendous amount of effort and work. So
Yeah. Before we run out of time, where do people go online to get tickets?
you can go to gcrentertainment.com.
Okay.
And then they're also available at all Bull Moose locations.
Okay.
There's 8 of them through Maine, and I believe there's 2 here in New Hampshire. So you can go to any Bull Moose location or gcrentertainment.com, where we hook you up to a ticket site that you can buy them.
By the way, are there any resources online that people should know about it as far as cannabis activism?
I can tell you what, when you search up cannabis facts, do not read any of them.
Really?
Because they just slander it with the M word from the top to bottom. They give you
Propaganda,
all kinds of wrong, incorrect propaganda.
Yeah.
I was doing a little research on my way here just to sharpen a few tips, and there was no way to sharpen those spears. They give you nothing but non-correct facts, nothing that hurts people and discourages people from actually trying to understand what it really is. So.
It was outright appalling. I could not believe what he was reading.
But I will say,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I will say, I also read about medical cannabis stocks. Anybody that is a liberal or anybody that believes in cannabis definitely should invest some of your money, if not all of your money, in cannabis stocks. Because we got to take over the stock market in one way or another.
There you go.
Might as well start with that.
There you go.
And they're doing well, and it's doing well. So
Yeah.
it is a smart thing to put your money into, especially with the abundance of resources that cannabis makes available.
Yeah.
I mean, just in fuel, we can sustain enough fuel to power our vehicles with cannabis from 1 year's crops throughout United States.
That's amazing.
We can power with electricity the whole country just from using cannabis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's absolutely endless. It's the only plant in the world that can sustain all of our needs, from feed all the way to
building materials,
to medicinal.
It's remarkable. Yeah.
Not many things you can do everything from A to Z with.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
It's a shame that we're so inhibited on using that when trees take our Earth has taken millions of years to build these resources and create this coal and
4.5
all this
billion
stuff.
years to be exact.
That's right, 4.5. And we're depleting it
Right.
in a bat of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we could just use hemp.
And when we could use hemp and cannabis to take care of everything that we need, it just doesn't make sense. And it's about time that more of us stand up and speak louder about the truths of cannabis and what can be done to help change the tide in this earth,
Yeah.
Because, hey, before we know it, it's going to be too late, and we're going to be long gone, but they're going to be wishing that we had come around quicker. So.
Absolutely. Well, we're about out of time, but guys, thank you, Trevor and Ashton. Thank you both so
Matt.
much.
We appreciate it very much.
And
as all as does GCR Entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm glad you guys were able to come. I know you had to travel a bit to get here, so we should mention the Facebook page too. GCR
Crew.
GCR Crew. Yeah.
And you can check us out at Facebook
as well as Instagram.
Of course, if you go to our GCRentertainment.com, we have all our Twitter links, all the links, IG, everything's there. So you can click from right there and find us on our Facebook. But it is GCR Crew on Facebook. September 4th through the 7th. Harmony, Maine, the New England Canna Carnival 2. It's going to be a time you won't want to miss, and we worked real hard to stack the deck and make it really, really reasonable for you guys to come out. So
that's
check us out at gcrentertainment.com.
Yeah, very cool. Well, guys, thank you both, and we're out of time, so that'll do it for this week's television edition of Unleashed. I'll be back Thursday night at dkrn.fm at 9 p.m. Eastern with the radio edition. And if you're watching us live on Wednesday, I'll be back at that 6 o'clock for Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades with the Honorable Gary S. Hopper. And that's it for now. Thanks again, guys. And I'll talk at y'all later.